What if the most disrespected quarterback in NFL draft history is about to become the most important player in Cleveland? Think about that for a second.
Their number one job is to get us in the end zone, and that's a little bit harder to really drill down. A couple of different reasons why. One is you're not playing any games. You don't have pads on. No one's live, so you really don't get a real feel for their athleticism, ability to escape, and play make. That's probably one of the hardest things over the years of when you have athletic. You go, this guy looks a little better in 7-on-7. Yeah, well, the game isn't 7-on-7. It absolutely isn't. Who makes plays? Who's got an inner toughness to move the offense and get us in the end zone? And then ultimately, who does the team believe in? And usually that correlates. The team's going to believe in
Shedeur Sanders, 2025 NFL Draft, 5th round, pick 144. Let that sink in. A quarterback who dominated college football, who had the bloodline, the arm, the film, slid all the way to the bottom of the draft, while quarterbacks with half his resume got called on day one. The internet went crazy, his dad went quiet, and Shedeur, he just watched his name get passed over, again and again and again. But here we are in 2026, and something has changed in Cleveland, something nobody saw coming. Todd Monken just walked into that building and flipped the entire script. Right now, the Browns' quarterback competition is the most electric storyline in the entire NFL offseason. If you want the full story, the real one, hit that subscribe button, because we're going deep today.
No, not really, because there's enough there of all three. I mean, I think we'd all be able to say that. There's enough there to really like Deshaun, the way he plays. And there's enough there to really like the way Shedeur played at the back end of the year. And there's enough early in the year from Dylan that is playing the position at a very high level. So I don't see it as, it's been brought up a lot more to me than really what I think about. Other than, someone's going to have to start off first, and someone's going to go second, and someone's going to go third.
April 2025, draft night. Shedeur Sanders sits in a room surrounded by family. Cameras rolling, waiting for his name to be called. Round 1 passes. No call. Round 2, nothing. Round 3, silence. By the time his name finally came up in round 5, the narrative had already been written for him by everyone else. Too cocky, too polarizing, too much baggage. The league had made its statements, or at least that's what they thought. But here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders that most people still haven't figured out. He doesn't change based on what the room thinks of him. He got to Cleveland. He found himself 4th on the depth chart under Kevin Stefanski, a coach who, by all accounts, didn't know what to do with him, didn't connect with him, didn't believe in him out loud. Weeks went by, then months. Sanders watched from the sideline while the Browns stumbled through a forgettable season. I was in practice a little more. Honestly, I was just trying to improve. That's Shedeur, understating everything the way only someone who's been through the fire can. Because what he won't tell you is that he spent most of that rookie year feeling invisible, overlooked, again. But then, Joe Flacco got traded, Dylan Gabriel went down, and suddenly, ready or not, Shedeur Sanders was the guy. He started the final 7 games, went 3-4, beat the Steelers, beat the Bengals, in the division, as a rookie, a 5th-round pick who wasn't supposed to be there, and something quietly shifted in Cleveland. Then came the offseason. Stefanski was out, and the Browns made a hire that nobody expected to matter this much.
Todd, how important, since most of these guys never met you before, how important is it for you to make a good impression on them so they know who you are on that first meeting you had?
Ultimately, I wanted them to know what our goals are and what we're here for as coaches. That's it. It's really simple. I said at the beginning, what business are we in? We're in the development business of our players to help them aspire to achieve all of their dreams.
Todd Monken, former offensive coordinator at Georgia, known for building quarterbacks, known for building relationships, known for walking into a room and making people feel like they actually matter. The very first thing Monken did when he got to Cleveland, he called Shedeur into his office. Not to evaluate him, not to lecture him, to talk to him as a person, to ask him what he needed, to understand how he learns. And then he said something nobody in the NFL had bothered to say to Shedeur Sanders out loud yet. Coach just spoke life into me, and when you do that, you get the best result from me. Let that land for a moment. This is a kid who the entire NFL tried to break down before he ever threw a pass in a regular season game. Draft analysts questioned his work ethic, teams questioned his character, the league put him through the most public disrespect in recent draft memory. And all it ever took, was one coach who looked him in the eye and said, "I believe in you. Now let's get to work." Monken didn't just give him a speech, he gave him a plan. If you want to be the best quarterback you want to be, Monken told him, you've got to do that on a daily regimen, step by step, not a motivational poster moment, a system, a daily commitment, a standard Shedeur could actually hold on to. And it clicked. This is the turning point, not the draft, not the games. This conversation, this relationship is where the real Shedeur Sanders story begins. Shedeur didn't go home in the offseason. He got a house in Cleveland. He stayed close to the facility. He showed up before anyone asked him to. Owner Jimmy Haslam noticed. The staff noticed. The other players noticed. This is the most important thing I have to do in my life. No drama, no bravado, just clarity. When the voluntary minicamp opened on April 21st, Shedeur Sanders was the first quarterback on the field, first in team drills, wearing his number 2 jersey again, the number he's worn his whole life, the one he had to give up as a rookie. Getting it back felt like a statement, even if nobody said it out loud. Monken structured practice so Shedeur could lead while still learning. The plan was to have Shedeur have a few more reps, Monken said plainly. Not a coronation, just an honest acknowledgement of what was becoming obvious to anyone paying attention. And here's what Monken said when the cameras got in his face about it. "I don't decide who plays. The players decide that. It's not where they start, it's where they finish."
Well, what changes everything, right? The winning changes everything, right? I told the coaches that the other day, right? Or playing well. How does a player stop a narrative? Play well. How do we stop a narrative on offense? Score. How do you stop a narrative of winning? Win. It's pretty freaking simple, right? I mean, is that not life in general, right? There is a narrative out there that, you're not a good husband. Well, change, be a good husband, right? All that's part of it, right? Change the narrative, become that. That's what we have to do. It's real simple.
Now ask yourself this. If Shedeur showed what he showed at the end of last season, on a bad team, with a coach who didn't trust him, with zero real preparation going in, what does he look like now, with Monken's system behind him, with belief in his corner, with a full off-season of work under a coach who actually communicates with him? The answer might terrify the rest of the AFC North. It's a new vibe. It's a new energy. Those words came out of Shedeur's mouth after day 1 of spring camp, and they hit different when you understand what the old vibe was. The silence, the depth chart politics, the feeling of being managed instead of developed. Todd Monken said something in his press conference that felt almost like it was written for this moment. He talked about what coaching really means to him, not drawing up plays, not calling formations. He said the greatest thing a coach can do is watch a player grow, get that second contract, find their ceiling, and know that you helped get them there. That's the philosophy Shedeur Sanders has been waiting his entire professional life to hear. And then Monken said something else, something about winning that cuts right to the core of everything the Browns have been for the last 2 decades. How do you stop a narrative? Win. How do you stop a narrative on offense? Score. It's pretty frickin' simple. No excuses, no committees, no more suffering through the process. Just go win. For Shedeur, that message isn't just motivational, it's personal, because his entire career has been defined by narratives written by other people, draft narratives, personality narratives, bloodline narratives. He has spent 2 years carrying weight that had nothing to do with his ability to play football. Now he has a coach who doesn't care about any of that, who pulls him into the office, who pushes him to be better, not because the front office is watching, but because the relationship demands it. That's rare in this league. That's everything in this league. Here's what nobody wants to say yet, but everyone is thinking. The NFL tried to bury Shedeur Sanders before he started. They questioned him on every level, his attitude, his readiness, his family, his ego. They slid him to pick 144 and waited for him to disappear quietly into a backup role and a forgettable career. It didn't happen. He beat Pittsburgh, he beat Cincinnati, he survived the hardest rookie situation in modern NFL history and came out the other side with a new number on his jersey, a new coach in his corner, and something dangerous in his eyes. Monken isn't making promises, he's making a process, and Shedeur Sanders, for the first time in his NFL career, is running inside that process with full belief, full preparation, and nothing left to prove to anyone except the scoreboard. The redemption arc isn't coming, it's already here. And Cleveland, a city that has been waiting for a quarterback since the beginning of time, might finally have found their answer in the last place anyone thought to look. Pick 144. Remember that number, because in 2026, that number might be the most important one in the entire NFL. Before you go, drop your answer in the comments right now. Do you think Shedeur Sanders wins the starting job in Cleveland this season, or does the NFL find another way to overlook him? Real talk only. Let's hear it.